Hi, Grandma from Grandma's Footsteps here. Today we're going to make Mrs Claus to go along with the Santa Claus that we made a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so we start off with the tumble dryer ball. Just roll it in my hands to make it nice and round and nice and smooth. And we take some flesh colour, which is from the makers, and it's the Australian pink flesh. Really lovely flesh colour, and it's a carded back, so easy to work with. Okay, now we just start attaching this. We're going to be attaching it to approximately half of the tumble dryer ball. And while I'm doing this, I'd just like to mention that I now have a Patreon account. I'll put a link in the description below. If you could support me, it would be absolutely great. There are some special things available for the Patreons. And, well, pop along, have a look. And I hope to see you there. Okay, so do a little bit of rolling the ball in my hands. Add a bit of wool if we've got a gap anywhere. And just keep stabbing away. Please like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It all helps for me to continue to put out more and more tutorials for you. If you wanted anything specific that you'd like me to show you, then please, by all means, put a comment down below, and I will see what I can do. And you can see here I've actually changed now to my clover needles. This is 3 needles in one holder. I believe I got mine from Amazon, but you can get them from all over the place. It's just called a clover tool. And here we are, just getting it nicely smooth and make sure that it's covered. Picking out any sort of little bits of vegetable matter or VM that may still be attached to the wool. And back to the fine needle to get a nice thing. Oh, quick cup of coffee. And now I'm just marking a couple of places where I think the eyes should go. It's easier if you mark the eyes where you're going to put them before you start on the facial features, because it just gives you a sort of a guideline as to where things should go. So I'm just making a couple of holes. I swapped to a slightly larger needle so that it shows up better. And now I'm going to make the nose. Just a small piece of the flesh coloured wool there, just rolling it up into a ball, and I start attaching it just between the eyes there, and using my fine needle I'm just attaching around the outside edge. This is how I attach all sort of bits that stick out, because it helps to get them in the right place. You can adjust the shape once you've got them on there, and the size and things you can adjust with your needle, but you need to get it well attached first, so going around the outside will achieve that easily. So once it's attached, you can start shaping it. And you can see here I'm giving a bit of attention to the sides of the nose, particularly as it comes up to the eyes, which gives it a more nose-like shape. Looks a little bit like a pig at the moment, but that's okay. We will adjust that and do some fine adjustments. You will notice that I'm not actually stabbing right through the middle of the nose at the moment. Keep it soft and squashy, which makes it easier to shape it, and then at the end we'll just firm it up a little bit with the fine needle. So yep, get a little bit more of a nose shape now. It's just stab it, needle felt it in where you want it to go in, but remember that every time you're stabbing it, you're making it smaller. It's getting firmer and it's getting smaller, so make sure you put plenty of wool on there in the first place. A little bit of rub over the top I like to do, because I find that it helps to get rid of a lot of the needle marks. Here we are, and I'm now gently stabbing over the main part of the nose there. And just making sure that the eyes are still being able to be seen. I'm also making a slight adjustment to the eye on the right because it was a bit too high. They weren't parallel. So, but you can do that as long as you know where the eyes are going to go. And I'm stabbing a lot deeper now. I'm not using my normal eyes at the moment, which are the ones that have got the thin wire stalk on the back. I've actually got eyes that are used in soft toys, and these have a much bigger shank, so you really do need to make some large holes for them. But as you can see, I'm just working on that now. If you're going to use your needle to make the holes, use a firm needle, push it right down so that you're using the shaft of the needle to actually make the hole, and when you're going round and round and round, so that you don't break the needle. Now once you've got the right size holes, keep trying your eyes, because you want them to be able to go right in. You don't want them sticking out too proud, because that just doesn't look right. And then pop your eyes in. If you're going to leave it for any time, leave the eyes in there, because it stops the hole from closing up. But now I've just popped them out there, and I'm using some glue, and I go right down with this very fine tipped glue pot right down to the bottom, and we actually fill the hole with glue. And there we are. Push them in, and push them in firmly, and you need to hold them for a little while. But you can see here I'm holding the eyes in. I'm actually pressing quite hard on the eyes, holding them in and managing to do a little bit of needle felting at the same time. That's it. Lovely. And now I'm just tidying up around the forehead there. It was a bit fluffy. Nice. Okay. So we've now got the eyes in and the nose on. And I appear to have lost my flesh coloured wool. Oh no, there it is. So I've taken two pieces, approximately the same size, and again we're sort of rolling them up, this time into a sort of an elongated ball. And we're going to make some cheeks, give her a nice fat cheeks and make her look cute. I like to put the eyes quite close together because I think that makes things look cute and sweet. So I mean, obviously it's up to you how you do it, but the closer the eyes are together, I think, well, within reason, it just gives them that really cute look. So here we are, There's quite a lot of wool going on here, because we want her to have really nice fat cheeks. Look, you know, it's Mrs Claus. She needs to look cute, she needs to look pretty, and she needs to look homely. Again, we're just folding it in and needle felting around the edge. You don't have to worry too much about the back edge because the hat is going to cover that edge, but you do need to get it attached. You just don't have to be quite so neat. And there we go. As you can see, it's coming up now. It's very similar to the Santa that we made, and also the frog, where we put the big fat cheeks on. So, you know, it's very enjoyable, this. Just sort of shaping the faces, sculpting the faces. And a few stabs here and there can make a lot of difference. Again, we're leaving it fairly soft, just needle felting the top there a little bit, so trying to get it to go in the direction I want it to go. But yeah, I leave the cheeks reasonably soft, and you'll see there that I was just doing some smoothing, getting it nice and smooth, and yeah, brilliant. Love it. I really love doing these sort of things. But as you can see here, I've pulled it. You can pull it and re-stab it down into a slightly different place. That's sort of changed the shape there. So, happy with that. I'm a lot happier with it. There we are. So it's come up alongside the nose there, and left the eyes to look as if they've gone in a bit. And now we'll just whiz through the second one on the other side. Exactly the same thing. I had a little bit too much wool there, so I just pulled it off, but it's exactly the same thing. You just want to try to make them look similar on each side, a bit symmetrical. Okay, so I will keep looking from the front and from the top, just to see that I've got it as symmetrical as I can. There we are. From here. Just getting a little bit closer here so you can see, and that is the shape. Just check it from all over. Yep. A little bit of refinement, slight changes just to get the two sides looking the same, which is what I'm aiming for here. Smoothing with my fingers. So it's some red wool, just got to make sure that it's going to fit round the head. So here we go, put it on, make sure it goes round, fits into there like so, and oh, I'm just playing with my new camera a little bit, so yeah, just make sure it fits around the head. Okay, and I've got my thumb in the right place, so that we'll just tear that off, and that is the piece that is long enough. Okay, we take a bit extra off that bit off the top there, flatten it out a bit, just check it again, measure twice, cut once. There we go, that's going to go round, no problem. And we lay it out on the felting mat here, and you'll see we will fold over the one edge and needle felt it down. That's because we want like a brim on the hat. We want it to be standing a bit proud of the face so that it looks like she's wearing a hat. You don't want it to just change colour. Yeah, just give it a little bit of a flatten down with the clover tool, or the 3 needle tool. Okay, and once we're absolutely sure that it fits, we'll start doing some work. Okay, I start at the very front, at the top, and I will just catch it down just a little bit. I'm not really stabbing it very much. I'm not needle felting it in very much. I'm just catching it at the top and the bottom, just because I want to try and get the right shape and everything before we needle felt it on. So we've just caught it in, and I will check that it fits properly where I want it, and pull the excess wool off, because we won't need all that at the back. There we go. And yep, I'm just checking it over now. I've taken it off, pulled it off again, and I'm just easing out that fluffy end and making sure that I've got a nice straight edge, a nice thick straight edge there. So, and then we just pop it back on, and this time we're going to attach it properly. So I start finding the centre, start between the eyes, and with a single needle I will needle felt it now about a 1/4 of an inch or so away from the edge, or a few millimeters away from the edge, as you can see. That's so that the hat does look like she's wearing it. So it's hard to describe, but if you just needle felt it right along the edge, then it doesn't really look like an item of clothing, because clothing sits on top of your body, and you want it to look like that. So I've just connected it in there, as you can see, and you can see how that stands out from the face with that thick edge, and by not needle felting it right at the very edge. So we go round, creating a sort of a tunnel's not the right word, creating a sort of a yes, whatever you call it, I don't know, I can't think of it today, and you'll be using that line a bit later on. So you're creating a line, and a sort of a trough there, yeah, and then I try it from all sides just to make sure it looks good. Pull the back pieces together, and we fluff them out so they're sort of fairly easy to needle felt down, and just needle felt it down. If you find that it's a bit thin in places, and you've got the white showing through, then just take an extra little bit of red, pop it on, and needle felt it in. You'll only need a thin layer, so as you don't want lumps in it, so a nice thin layer. There we go. Checking, always checking that it's symmetrical, and that it's where I want it, and it's how I want it to look. So always doing that, smoothing out, checking front and top. And now I'll get a little bit of lace. This is just a piece of nylon lace. I think it's about 1/2 inch wide. Just measure it so that it goes around the head, and then I've attached some white wool to it, just along the edge. Now this means that you can put this sort of white fur trimming on the hat at the same time as the lace. It's easier that way, it's less work, and I think it looks really, really good. So we just wind it round, just checking again that it's where we want it. And because this is a cap and not a Santa hat, I'm actually leaving a little bit of the red showing along the outside. Make sure that the lace lines up fairly well underneath. The fluffy bits of the white we can sort out later. Okay, and once we've got it approximately where we want it, just doing a few minor alterations there, I will start to needle felt along the bottom edge. Now that is, I'm actually needle felting that where I put that line. So you've got that a bit of red showing, and we're needle felting down into that line. So just keep checking at it. You needle felt it, keep needle felting until it's well attached. And now I'm needle felting the back edge. As you can see, it's a little bit harder work there, but if you do it well and you needle felt it firmly, not only does it hold itself and the lace on, it will actually make the lace stand up. As you can see in just a moment, as I'm needle felting it, the lace stands up rather than just laying flat on the hat. So it just makes it look a bit prettier. So it's really good. It's a good way to do it. Saves time. Otherwise you're going to find a way to attach the lace on. I mean, you could use glue, but I don't like needle felting where I've put glue, if I can possibly avoid it. As you'll find out when I put the hanger on, it can cause problems. And you don't want sticky needles either, so. Now normally I would have put the hanger on by now, same as I did with the Santa one, but I just forgot. But you know, you can save things. If you do something wrong, you make a mistake, it can be saved. It's needle felting. It's very, very forgiving. And now I'm just getting some curly locks, taking off a couple of bits about 1 inch long to make a little bunch, and lift the hat up, and right between the eyes there, at the edge of the hat, we just needle felt that little clump of locks together. Get it nice and firmly attached, you don't want it falling off. There we are, fold it back down, and then I just pull the hat over the top, and I like to just stab it fairly lightly, just to give it the appearance of some curls down, but I don't want it hanging down over her eyes. So there we are, that's her little kiss curl, and yes, pretty, I like it. And now I'm going to take another couple of very small pieces of curly locks and put in some eyebrows. There we go. Ah, lovely curly eyebrows. And now she's beginning to get to look really cute. This is quite a simple make, actually. Takes a little bit longer than Santa, a little bit more to it, but again, it's a very simple make, very suitable for beginners. Just such a joy to make. I find I can't help smiling. There we go. And I'm just pushing her face around a bit to make it more the shape I want, because where you've been needle felting, you will have slightly changed the shape of the head, squashed the nose or whatever. So I just do a little bit of work just to put it back where I really want it. Here we go. Yeah. And now I'm going to make a small bow from the lace. It's just the same as you would tie your shoelaces, just a little bow, and we'll be attaching that to the top of her hat. Because she is obviously a lady and needs a little bit extra decoration. There we go. And I like to add a little bit of glue inside the knot of the bow so that it can't come undone. But I think I failed putting the glue in the first time, so I'm going to have another go at it. Yep, just in there, in the middle of the knot, and then squeeze it down between my thumb and finger, which will spread the glue out and hold it. Now just tidying up the ends of the ribbon and cutting them at an angle. A, it looks better, and B, it helps to stop it from fraying. Oh dear, I haven't got my best scissors here. Never mind. Choose where I'm going to put it, which will be just above her hair, and we will be gluing it on, and putting the glue on the back of the knot of the bow. It's a nice bit of glue. I mean, you don't have to worry if it squeegees out a bit, because this is clear glue. It dries clear. And I like to put a couple of pins in, if you can, or if you haven't got any pins, use a couple of needles just to hold it while the glue dries. It doesn't take long, but it is better to hold it in position, especially if you're going to be doing more work on her while it's drying. Yeah, that's pretty. Just press the bow down there in the centre, just to make sure it's there before we start messing about. Now I'm going to make her glasses. So you take a piece of wire, it's 1mm craft wire that I got from Amazon. So we've measured the length there, and we just fold it. Like, if you try and remember what shape a pair of glasses is, then you'll be fine. And I pop it back in. I'll probably cut a bit off the edges, off the sides, but we want to make sure it's long enough to start with, because we need to turn the ends over as well. Okay, pop it in, and then mark with, you see we're marking with my thumb and finger where the centre of the eye is, and then you want to put that there on, and I'm using a test tube. You can use anything to wind this round if you wish. This is just a tube that I buy the needles, that my needles come in when I buy them, and just make sure that that is a 90-degree angle to the side bar, and squeeze it together. I'm just using my pliers here to straighten out. I've got a little bit of a kink in the wire in the middle, so I've just used the pliers to straighten it out, and then pop it back on. Keep trying, just make sure that you know where you're going. Mark the other eye, and again just wind the wire, sorry I've gone a little out of shot there, but wind the wire round and back to where you started. So slide it off, and there we are, that's the second one, second side, and you can see that's what we do. Measure to where you want it to go back to the arm, hold it with the pliers and just give it a bend. This 1mm craft wire does bend quite easily, but not too easily. It's fairly firm, so it's a good call to use. Now I'm cutting it off, and I'm also going to shorten the other arm as well, so that, as you can see, I've shortened them both now, so that's going to sit in there, hopefully. Just push it in under the hat, and I'm sorry I've gone off shot. I'm getting used to this new setup. And just squeezing them together there to make them nice and flat. Okay, and then a slight bend so that they are curved a little bit at the front. And we pop them in there just to have a look. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And what I'm doing now, as you can see, is turning over the very ends of the wires, because you don't want wires sticking out, and they could stick out through the hat. There we are. And it also helps to keep them in. Now I'm just checking that nothing's sticking through the hat, and there you have her glasses. That's it. Fluffing up her bow a little bit. And if you're not sure that they're going to stay on, just push the hat back a little bit, add some glue, and put, you know, sort of press the hat back onto the glue, onto the wire, and yeah, that holds them in. Lovely, nearly there. Now the only thing I haven't done, as I mentioned before, is I haven't put on the hanger. And I'll be honest, I do make a bit of a mess of this one, putting the hanger on, but everything can be salvaged and rescued. So I get a nice piece of Christmas twine. It's baker's twine, but I'm in the red and white stripe. Makes it look very Christmassy. And make a nice big knot at the end, and near to the end as you can. Now, I like to pinch a piece of the wool and sort of hang it between my nails, which shows you approximately where you want to put the hanger, so that she doesn't hang with her head down too much or to one side. Just I'm just making a little hole into the hat fluff with the end of my scissors. There we go. Now the knot's going to go there. I'm going to put a bit of glue into the hole, which will help to hold it, and also cause a few problems in a minute when we start needle felting, as you'll see. So this is why I like to do it beforehand. I like to get it in, let it dry, then we needle felt over the top. So I'm going to push it in, but as usual it decides it doesn't want to stay in. So out it pops, but we just keep persevering with it. Okay, and you can pull the red round. Yep, there we go. And then what I'll do is I'll split the loop so that we can needle felt over the top of it. It's no good to needle felting round it, that's not going to hold it. So I've just got a little piece of red wool here, and I'm going to needle felt either side of that piece of baker's twine. As you can see, I do get caught up a couple of times with the glue, but yeah, it's fixable. Almost anything in needle felting is fixable, and just checking that it hangs straight before I go too much further, but obviously it needs a bit more work so that it's not going to fall off. So here we go, you can see that I've put that bit across, and I'm going to now put another piece. You really want to get it as firm as you can, and that does involve a little bit of work. Not quite so much if you put it on before you do everything else. It's just easier. If you want to know how I did that, just watch the Santa video. And there's that bit of glue coming up again. It comes up over and over again. That's getting firmer now. It's beginning to hold. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't needle felt the top bit of the lacing while I'm doing it. And away we go. Yep. Needle felt it in quite firmly. I need to needle felt in front and behind the string, and you can actually needle felt through the string as well. Just watch that glue. There we are. So that's just about got her finished there now. So what I want you to do is to like, comment and subscribe. Have a very, very merry holidays, happy holidays and happy new year and all that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye now.